I'm Lizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another feeding frenzy for the Master Key system. This one's a little different because we've now come to the question part of this chapter.
Right.
I used to hate this in school.
So this is the part 1 questions.
Part 1 questions.
Why did you hate this in school?
Well, because I always thought I'd moved on from that, you know. We'd talked about it, I've learned what I need from it, and I've moved on from that. I don't want to go back and rehash, and anytime I couldn't think of it right then, I felt stupid.
Well, let's just see how well you do.
Oh, gosh.
What is the
said
world?
You get to ask the questions.
I did. What is the world without and its relation to the world within?
The world without is the reflection of the world within.
Very good! Ding, 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 ding.
I got it right?
Yeah. Okay. Upon what does all possession depend?
Is this a one word, or can I just tell you what comes to mind?
All possession is based on one word.
Consciousness.
Yes, very good. Ding, ding, ding. Number 3. How is the individual related to the objective world?
How is the individual related to the objective world?
This one's a little tricky.
I guess I'm getting caught up on the word related.
The individual is related to the objective world by the objective
mind.
Yes.
Okay.
The brain is the organ of this mind.
Right.
Okay. Number 4. How is he related to the universal mind?
How is who related? Man?
I suppose.
Well, we're one with the universal mind.
Okay. But if we are related to the objective world by the objective mind, then how are we related to the universal mind?
By the subjective one.
Subconscious mind. The solar plexus is the organ of this mind. Okay, remember all this?
I do now.
What is the universal mind?
It's God to me.
Okay. He says the life principle of every atom which is in existence.
There you go.
Which we call God.
Right.
How can the individual act on the universal? How do we act on that?
Through thought.
The ability of the individual to think is his ability to act upon the universal and bring it into manifestation. Very good. Number 7. What is the result of this action and interaction?
What we see in our reality. Or what we experience.
Or, as we talked about, cause and effect. Every thought is a cause and every condition an effect. How are harmonious and desirable conditions secured?
Through balance.
Or right thinking.
Or right thinking.
And what is the cause of all discord, inharmony, lack, and limitation?
Inharmony.
Discord, inharmony, lack, and limitation are the result of
wrong thinking.
Yes! Ding, ding, ding!
Tell her what she wins.
What is the
we're not done?
One more.
Okay.
One more. What is the source of all power?
God.
He says the source of all power is the world within, the universal fountain of supply, the infinite energy of which each individual is an element. This concludes part 1 of our series. You have graduated to part 2.
Oh, yay! Yay! Tell her what she's won.
A trip to part 2. No, what'd you think of part 1? Seriously.
I really liked it. It was, now having read some of Charles Fillmore's books, which are, they're really a lot to chew, just because of the language. We just don't speak that way these days. I mean, we come from the era of texting where we don't even finish the spelling of a word. His language is so deep that it really takes breaking down. This is kind of like that. It really takes breaking down, but there was nothing in it that I said, no, that doesn't resonate with me. it was all true for me, even though some of it was difficult to.
Some of the words
Chew.
was a little old.
You know,
I mean,
yeah.
it was written a long time ago. But I thought,
But none of the
overall,
concepts.
right, it works for me because, excuse me, it ties the mental and physical
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
logical
Mhm.
and spiritual all
Mhm.
together for
Mhm.
me. Because he puts scientific facts in there
Mhm.
and brings the spiritual in
Mhm.
to show me how it works.
Well, that whole first part for me was basically laying out how we physically, mentally, and spiritually have a relationship with God.
Right.
How it affects my physical body, how it affects my mental body, and how it affects my spiritual body. That's basically all that part one was for me,
Right.
was explaining that communication system.
Right. I don't have a clue what part two's going to do, but
I don't either.
I've enjoyed part one. Now, another question. The application part of part one was to meditate
Did you do it?
for 15 minutes. Yes, I did it. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
And
Having
was it?
meditated in the past, but having let that practice fall away, or not practicing it as often, it was more difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Because then I was distracted by everything. In my little R reality, so to speak, being a mom and having not a job, but having work to do and, a house to take care of and etc. I have learned how to block out the normal stuff. I can block out the kids doing their thing and the dishwasher running, and do you know what I'm saying? I've learned how to block out those things. But once I got still and got quiet, then everything got loud.
Really?
Yeah, for me
Wow.
anyway. My thoughts got louder. I didn't know at the time, but there was a child or someone outside the window. That one got louder. And then I heard, it was just little things, the air kicking on. And so it
you
just seemed like
noticed more.
everything got turned up. Yeah, oh yeah, I noticed more.
Hmm.
And I just allowed it. But man, that was a long 15 minutes.
Hmm.
It really was. And it didn't used to be that way.
Wow. So for me, it was different the other way. It was, I think I tuned more stuff out. And at first it was like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can be this still. And I had a nose itch and, just noticed everything about my body
Mm-hmm.
that I couldn't keep still.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was, how long can 15 minutes be? I set my alarm and I kept thinking, okay,
It's going to go off
surely
any
it's going
second.
to go off now. And then it was like it was almost like being in a dream, and I wondered if I had fell asleep.
Mm.
Because I was almost dreaming, but I couldn't tell you now what it was. It was nothing earth-shattering. But I have to say I was fairly successful at keeping my body still.
Very
Now,
good.
whether I was snoring or not, I don't know. I was glad when the alarm went off. I will put it that way.
Well, then you did what I was unable to do.
Maybe,
Isn't
but I
that
don't
funny
think you're
how our
supposed to
roles
sleep.
are reversed? But see, that's what used to happen to me all the time when I was in the practice of doing it.
But now to tell you where I went or what happened or
Mhm.
whatever, I don't know. I remember seeing a bald guy, the bald guy's top of his head or something. That was all I can remember, and I was thinking, wow, that's weird. And that's all I remember.
A bald guy, huh?
Yeah, but he was only bald in the spot.
Yeah,
So anyway, that was weird.
that was weird.
So are you going to
So
keep
how do you
doing
think
it?
that practice?
You need to keep doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got to get back in the practice of it. It's just like exercise or anything else. I notice when I'm out of the practice of it how untrained I am.
Mm-hmm.
To just sit still and be still. Do you think?
Why do we want to do that? I mean, that's
That's exactly what I was
going
going to ask. Why do you think that's going to help? Continue that practice?
I don't know. I've made it through to the next exercise for part 2 before, and that's where I quit. But you start visualizing things while you're doing that.
Mhm.
So I don't know where it'll go from there. I'm anxious to see where it goes from there.
Well, the
But-
only way to know is to actually do it and see if it works.
Right, but I do feel like I was successful in controlling my body, so I
Mhm.
feel free to move on to the next step. He said do it until you can do that. I will continue to meditate for 15 minutes and just see where that goes. I want to get everything I can.
Well, I don't want to hear from other people too.
Yeah,
what
yeah, I
their
wanna hear from
experience
you,
is.
and,
You know,
put it in
whether or
the
not
comments.
15 minutes is hard. Is it hard to control your body for that 15 minutes? Are you having things come in and out? What is your experience? I'd love to know
Right.
what someone else is experiencing. I'm going to keep it up too.
Yeah, I think
You know.
it can't hurt.
Oh no.
Except to waste
No.
15 minutes every day.
Well, if you add it up all the time in your day, I mean,
Well, that's true.
you know,
You can just replace.
how many places do we waste time?
Mhm. Okay.
You know,
All right.
so 15 minutes spent actually listening. I don't think it's a
Yeah.
waste.
Okay.
All right, so did I pass?
You did.
I did
Flying
pretty good.
colors, you
Very
did really
good.
Really
Very good.
That's good stuff.
Yay,
Good for
well, that's
you.
good stuff.
Shrink.
Shreen.